As enemies now allies join up together, despite some protestings. Luxus defeats one of the 12, although one of the other 12 shows that she has a triumph card that is not really good for the situation. The Angry Anime Fan here to bring you Fairy Tail Final Series episode 21 of it all. Last time Luxus began to collapse even though he tried to fight off Waru using his determination, because after all Luxus is one of the strongest of Fairy Tail. So as Waru prepares to blast him off, Luxus wills himself to write a rune, revealing that he has actually taken some lessons from Frido in writing runes, but Waru immediately dispels them. However, that was actually what Luxus was after all the whole time. Luxus had more magical particles still inside of his body that had begun to damage his organs or so. So he thought that by rejecting the barrier and then Walu dispelling them, he would also dispel the bodies inside Luxus. In a way, that logic can work a little bit like so and so. I mean, because I think the magical particles were gone, it's just that his organs were a little bit damaged. Then again, I guess the after effects were neutralized, so that is work. With newfound strength after his pain has vanished, Luxus charges against Wall and actually managed to defeat him, as he remembers the words that when he once talked to Mavis. You all may not know it or remember, but Luxus is a great grandson of Yuri, who was Makarov's father, who also used lightning magic. That Yuri was one of Mavis's closest friends, and that's why Mavis is, when she got her curse, took that the hardest, because she accidentally killed his wife. But the thing is, though, one of the most heartwarming moments in Fairy Tail Zero, which is the details of how the guild was founded, is when Yuri promises that from now on my dream is your dream, and I will protect you forever. While that ended up in tragedy, it's a very heartwarming line. So Mavis has always said that despite everything else, Luxus and Yuri are not that unlike. So Luxus managed to develop a new type of lightning, red lightning that goes beyond different lightning, something like Mercury or something. Although once again not given much explanation, I guess it's related to the seething blood inside of his body, and therefore it's inherited lightning. So with that he managed to crush Wall. Unfortunately he won't have the stamina to fight back. However, things do end up a little bit different though, as Yuvia, Grey and Leon's team also get reinforcements made by Meridi of Cramsey Core, while Jalal helps Kagura and Ersa, although Kagura is not so very happy about that, given the fact that Jalal is the reason why Simon, who was her brother, is dead. But back on the field, Dimara, who clicked her teeth, reveals she has a very broken power, a power of time. Similar to Dio, she proclaims she can stop time, although unlike Dio, she can stop time until she doesn't want to stop it anymore. And just like Dio, she proclaims that this is her world. She prepares to kill Wendy when suddenly they begin to move, as an astral projection of a young Ultir appears. And yes, it is only a projection, because Ultir tried to rewind time in the Grand Magic game when tragedy happened, but she only managed to do that 5 minutes. But those 5 minutes were enough to save a lot of lives, but unfortunately aged her to an old woman. And seeing that her ability was time, she can create an astral projection that is a young image of her inside the time, and as long as she is here, she can help the girls move. So seeing that they can now fight back against time, they begin to fight back. But Dimara then reveals a triumph card, revealing that within her there's a reason why she can control time, and that is because she's a descendant from a tribe that actually worshipped the god of time, and therefore she has takeover Goto Soul, allowing her to take over the body of a time god that truly begins to dominate the fight, until Ultir reveals that there might be a way to overpower Dimara's powerful magic, but to do that means sacrifice magic for their magic forever, maybe, called the Third Origin. So I mean, there were some nice action scenes here, and the return of Meredi and Jalal are very welcoming. Of course, there are other things that can feel a little bit, well, plucky and logic, especially of Laxus being cured, and then a third origin in Magic. But then again, that's how Fairy Tail always has moved out, so I don't mind that, but I think the reviewers might. So there was, so definitely I liked it. But one of the greatest thing is that an old music score came back in this scene. When Laxus charged against Wallow, we hear that familiar Fairy Tail beat, one of the greatest themes that really gets you pumping. That was very suited of it all. But Got the Slayer take over. Well, maybe Shelia really does have the ability to defeat her. Maybe, but that means sacrificing her magic. We'll see, won't we? Give me your faults if you have any.